They're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us.
Hello and welcome to America the Conversation. I am one of your hosts, Tim Phillippe, and with me as always is Andrew Turner. What's going on, bud?
1 second.
Oh, you know what you should do instead of doing that? Just wear lifts in your boots. Like,
I want to be taller.
Oh, wow. You've surpassed Nikki Haley and Chris Christie, both people who I'm pretty sure are taller than you. And by you, I mean Ron DeSantis.
Am I tall enough?
Well, Donald is tall enough. That's the thing. Donald's like 6'3" or some shit.
This is like if Donald Trump was regularly giving like segues, this is what he would look like in our show. Like, check out America the Conversation.
It's a
conversation. I've seen it. It happens. They go back and forth. They talk.
We would offer to frame him correctly. Like, nope. I like the camera where it is.
Sorry, I'm getting off Ron height. 1 second.
It's in the middle of your chest, sir. I would not call him sir. Probably. Just because he's so gross. But today, this is a series of episodes we're doing half as clickbait, half as a full reason to tell you that these people are bad for America. We did want to call it not their best. And that was Andrew's pitch. And let me tell Andrew why I didn't go with that right here. These people are their best because they beat us. They beat everybody. They beat people all the time. They will not beat Donald Trump. None of the people that we're going to, at least the presidential candidates.
I disagree with you.
I don't, because Ron, I mean, if the Democrats definitely aren't providing their best, but Ron got things done. Ron, like, for better, for worse, but he delivered on his promises. Like,
I don't think achieving horrible deeds makes you the best.
Being able to manipulate the masses and being able to control Congress, I would say, makes you pretty damn good at your job. Like, much like he did.
No, their job is to represent us. You are saying they are the best at being corrupt.
That is what I'm saying. They are best at playing this game of politics. They're not the best at being good people. Not at all.
They're not even good at politics. They cheat. They're not even good at it.
That is politics. If we played like them, we would probably win more, I would say. Like, we tell the Democrats.
Yeah.
We say on the show all the time that Democrats need to be fighting more like Republicans. And like Ron DeSantis for a while was doing pretty damn well. And now he's definitely not. That's why we're doing him first. But I don't know.
I mean, first off, Florida politics is not American politics.
It's not American politics. No.
I want to point out. Second off, like, just because he was successful in his state as a governor, like, there's literally been hundreds of those people over the course of our history.
Fair.
Like, I don't think it makes you the best. Like, there's probably
I'm not saying he's the best. So let me be clear. He's not their worst. Like, he's not their best, but he is competent in his job. Sure.
Sure. I mean, like, I guess I was qualifying.
He's bad for America. I can say
when
that.
I pitched the idea of having Trump's voice come in to intro this, of like, they're not sending their best, it was kind of applying to all Americans. Comparatively, like, who the Republicans are sending.
Sure.
I mean, like, I guess Ron DeSantis is not the worst on the bench of people that we saw in the last debate recently.
He's won like every debate apparently, which I haven't watched the last three. I don't believe that.
Apparently not. Nikki Haley's surging in the polls compared to him. Yeah, no, I
don't pay attention.
I think Ron has looked weak. I think he's looked like he's trying to be a human, which is weird. Like, he's been off-putting and uncanny valley the whole time. Like, I don't know. These debates have really hurt Ron. I think they have shown that he's just not up to snuff to be able to fight back. If he can't fight back against Nikki Haley and Chris Christie, like, how could he take on Donald Trump?
Chris Christie ripped him apart.
How could he take on he couldn't take on Gavin Newsom. He automatically lost the Gavin Newsom debate by showing up to it because he's debating someone that is not running for president. Like, Gavin Newsom's opening line was, what I can promise is that neither one of us will be our party's nominee this year.
Yeah.
Like, he automatically lost that debate by showing up and just hearing that. Like, these people suck. And I don't just mean that because of their policies, even though their policies do suck, but they're not that impressive. Like, at least George Bush was charming. At least Mitt Romney gave an air of like old school Republican. At least John McCain did spend some time in a POW camp.
Yeah.
Like at least those people were somewhat real, even if they were horrible. I mean, like every single one of these people is like Reddit tier debate nerds that like I could have demolished in high school debate. Like
Sure.
I don't. None of them are good. And Meatball DeSantis is probably, I just said he probably wasn't the worst person on that. I would like to amend my former thought. At this point, Rhonda is the worst on that stage.
100% for sure.
Not only does he have 6-inch lifts that he's trying to hide so that he can act like he's 5'11", like not only is he like going out there being like, this is how humans smile. I know in his head, whenever he does a smile, not only is he licking his lips constantly, literally like a fucking
More time.
Avengers villain. Like, no, he's like
Duet.
he has wasted, and I guess this is his like most leftist thing that he's done. He's wasted millions and millions of millionaire right-wing dollars just flushed down the toilet over the last 6 months. And like he even with Nikki Haley in the debate last night, he was like, well, all these Wall Street people are moving over to your campaign and giving you money. You're beholden to your donors. And she's like, yeah, they're moving from your campaign to my campaign. Like, they don't think you can win.
This is the fourth and last primary debate that we're referencing, that we're recording this in December.
Nobody cares
the JV
debate
nobody
that
cares
nobody
debate.
watched.
Which
we had so many plans. Like, it really makes me mad that Trump didn't show up, because like we would have been live streaming these.
Yep.
Like, I would have been like, okay, it's the last one. Like, we're going to drink during this one. We're going to take shots, and like, it's going to be the drunk stream. Like, no, we're getting demonetized, but it's going to be fun. But no, we had to fucking watch JV Squad yell at each other about who's more racist and who hates the environment more. And it's the biggest waste of time like I've ever seen in politics. And I am a debate nerd. I am a debate Andy. I am like the policy person in my friend group and in every job that I've ever been in. I'm like, well, you know, if we invested over the next 20 years in this, it would lead to this kind of, this is why education is a silver bullet to everything else. Blah, 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 blah. And I was sitting there like, this is so boring and evil. Like, those are the two like adjectives I can use, is just annoying, boring, and evil was the three things I had. And Rhonda exemplifies it. He's a pudding scooping, lobbyist bought out, Disney taking on and losing, by the way.
Losing
like,
hard. Yeah.
I like, they are not their best, Tim. They could, there's someone else in the Republican Party that would have done a better job than everyone on that stage running. There is someone. I don't know who.
But who would have run against Ron DeSantis, though,
maybe
in
they're
Florida?
A small congressman or woman, but like
Floridians love
smarter.
him. That's the thing. Like when I was trying to like, you know, argue with people about Ron DeSantis when he was running again, dude, like leaps and bounds more people seem to like him. I mean, so much so that I think he won 60-30 or something like that in his state. Like people
he won big.
Love him, and the same. He is the best for Florida. He's not he's the best that somebody could have done there. Like, and that means the Democrats just straight up don't care about Florida. But in doing so, best or not, like he still got a lot of things done, and we're gonna talk about why he is, while he may not be their best, he is bad for America and still very, very, very influential, and will be influential in Florida long after he is not anywhere close to Trump's new administration. If he gets elected, he'll be back in Florida and then try and run again in 24, which will still fail then because Tucker Carlson will beat him. Yeah, be scared of that. But here we go. I'm just going to run down a list of all of the reasons why he's a piece of human garbage shit. If garbage took a shit, that's Ron. And you know, I wish I could make that into a. Well, I can't make it into a bumper sticker. I'll just get pulled over in Texas.
No. Okay, you don't know how to do metaphors. If Oscar the Grouch ate a all Italian buffet and then shut it out,
I am bad at metaphors.
And then that would be Meatball Ron.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm a human, not Oscar shit. I promise.
All right. First and foremost, I think this might have happened towards the beginning of last year, at least in 2021, I believe. A bunch of Venezuelan immigrants came to America, and he shipped them off to Martha's Vineyard. He also, I think or maybe Abbott is the one that shipped him off to California. No, Abbott shipped him to Kamala Harris's house. That's what it was.
Yeah, he recruited these people from Texas, lying to them, saying that he was going to give them a place to stay.
That's what it was.
Human trafficking, because they weren't immigrants to Florida. They weren't like Cuban refugees or anything. They were refugees that came from the Texas state border. He asked Abbott to find him refugees. He said he would bring them to Florida and give them housing, and instead he took them to Martha's Vineyard and dropped them off in a Democratic district.
Where those people were ready with open arms to help them.
Yeah, by the local like Democrats and by the local like people who live there, you know, not affiliated with the party. But DeSantis committed human trafficking as a publicity stunt.
Yeah, 100%. The next one, another, I wouldn't say total publicity stunt. He was definitely on the side of let's nick COVID in the bud real fast until it became unpopular to do so with the Republicans, and then turned immediately to anti-science. There's a very famous video of him yelling at a bunch of students who were wearing masks a little bit after COVID was at its height, and just, I mean, berating these, I think, middle schoolers or at least young high school kids about wearing masks, like saying they're turning this into a political event, like so ridiculous.
You do not have to wear those masks. I mean, please take them off. Honestly, it's not doing anything, and we got to stop with this COVID theater. So if you want to wear it, fine, but this is ridiculous. All right. Well, it's good to be at USF.
Like, you're an adult human man who is yelling at a bunch of
way too deep for Ron DeSantis. You know, it was like, you're turning this into a political event.
I'm sorry that I sound like a normal human man versus an alien whose voice modulator isn't set to like 40-year-old dude, however old he is.
Normal human man thoughts.
He does really. He's got a kind of a David Beckham voice, but at least David Beckham like took, you know, voice classes. That's a real thing too, by the way. Beckham had to sound more.
I cannot believe you would compare the fuckable David Beckham to the most unfuckable Ron DeSantis.
I'm comparing their voices. Two things can be the same, I think. Well, they can. They literally can. It's called twins and just copies. Whatever.
Okay. Great. I rescind everything I've ever said on this podcast with that argument.
The clip of this episode.
Two things can be the same, I guess, Tim. You're correct.
Two things can be the same. He got rid of mail-in voting, or at least made it really, 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 really hard.
Cool. And it's full of elderly people. That's great.
The Stop Woke Act, which restricted discussions of race and race history in schools and businesses, which is like, what the fuck? The Don't Say Gay bill.
The big black people learned important skills during slavery.
Yeah, let's do the Stop Woke Act and the Don't Say Gay bill here for a second, because they're the two biggest, most famous ones that he did. Like, you can't, you know, and he's also, as we mentioned in our PragerU episode, he is actively pushing PragerU propaganda into schools where they just show the video and use it as lessons and have workbooks, things like that, as genuine education where, you know, they harp on critical race theory, which is merely just the study of how, you know, America is systematically racist and how it's just been ingrained into our society.
And it's a college level thing.
And it's a college level thing that's not even taught in schools on a high school and middle school level. So like, but regardless, he like you know, I know a person he's a teacher and has been trying to get Black history taught, and it's a private school that he is working at, but trying to get not critical race theory, but just simply Black history taught every single year for the past few years, and has always met with no, the kids might feel uncomfortable, or you know, need 1 to 2 parents writing in and say absolutely not, blah 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 blah. So you know, that's still the main thing. Now the Don't Say Gay bill goes a step further, which he will push back on and say it's not that we can't, because the Democrats did label it the Don't Say Gay bill. That is not what it's called. The Stop Woke Act is what that is called, if memory serves. But if it's not, correct me, and, you know, have at it, YouTube commenters. But the Don't Say Gay bill is a bill that, in Ron's words, was more or less to stop the discussions of sexuality and the sexualization of children or something like that, which more or less, it does prohibit teachers and students from discussing homosexuality in any way, and it was only supposed to be for the younger crowd. But then they passed another one that pushed it through high school, and I think into college.
Yeah, and essentially, if
I
you
might be
are
wrong
gay
about the
and
college
a
part.
teacher, you couldn't talk about like your spouse at all. Like you couldn't talk about being gay. If you were a student and you had gay parents, you couldn't talk about that. Like it was essentially the same thing as like the don't ask, don't tell in the military, but now put into Florida education, which is ridiculous.
You can't go up to a child and go, you know, a kid with two dads. Where's your mom? Oh, I don't have a mom. Oh, did she die? Well, no. Okay, well, where's your mom? Did she leave? Well, no. I can't say the phrase, I have two dads. Like, that's just like, that kid will get in trouble. Like, no, that's Florida schools, public schools in a nutshell. They banned, they did the whole bathroom ban there where, I know some trans folks out in Florida who can't use any public building bathroom that they, should be using. They can't, trans women can't just use the women's room in a public, a government building there now. And I think that's the same thing in Texas too. But that might have been shifted. I don't know. They've tried a lot of things in Texas that didn't actually pan out. They tried PragerU here, didn't pan out. But Florida is succeeding in all of this kind of shit, especially a 15-week abortion ban that he ran on when he was running for governor. He bragged about it. And now, as a GOP candidate for president, won't even talk about it because turns out the rest of the country at large didn't want this 15-week and is pushed for a 6-week did they do the 6-week abortion ban? Shoot, I might be wrong on that. Can you fact check that for me real fast? I think they might have actually succeeded because I think that was his big talking point where he actually did make it into the 6-week ban. But while he's still doing that.
Wait, I'm interrupting our podcast because Newsweek is publishing that Elon Musk issued a warning to Taylor Swift, and that could be the end of the world, knowing how Swifties work.
Okay.
And Muskins.
Man, I wish we could pivot immediately from that because Andrew is half joking. Swifties took down Ticketmaster.
I am half joking.
That is like, you remember the Beliebers years ago. The Swifties are worse. Like I view them.
Yeah, the new abortion ban is 6 weeks in Florida. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, the Beehive and the Swifties are nothing to be fucked with. I can say that with full confidence.
No, we're Swifties here.
We're Swifties. And, I love Beyonce too. That's what the Beehive does, Andrew. Come on, get with it.
And Beyonce is great too.
But
and
Swifties will,
too.
I would
no problem
love.
with Cardi fans. No, I know my fandoms that and like every K-pop band we love, we know what fandoms
absolutely
are dangerous to us to criticize.
I genuinely like all their music, and especially with the BTS fans, the ones that like
everyone
destroyed
in those groups that can destroy us.
Yeah,
please don't.
And that's not even like, hey, please don't destroy us. That's like, no, we're cool with you. Like us, help us. And you know what? Also go after Elon Musk with Swifties because I don't know what's going on there, but he just signed whatever end of days warrant that he this has nothing to do with Ron DeSantis anymore.
Anyways,
God damn it.
Back to the much
I can't wait to see this episode in a couple weeks and then find out, oh God, yeah, Elon Musk, he does not live on this planet anymore because of them. He had to actually leave.
He was strapped to a rocket by 65, 16-year-old girls who launched him into space through the atmosphere.
We'll
before
send you
his
to
rocket
fucking
exploded.
Mars. God damn it. With your dick rockets.
I believe the Swifties are going to solve all the problems
they might.
about. But that being said,
turn them into a voting block. My God.
She's tried.
She has tried and was kind of successful a little bit.
Yeah, it depends on where you go.
Yeah, right.
But 6-week abortion ban.
6-week abortion ban does not support the Marriage Equality Act, which, allows people like multiple members of my family and to get married, whether they're black, white, trans, gay, doesn't matter. Anybody can get married. That's the whole point. He's not thrilled with that. Yeah. Despite also having multiple mass shootings in his state, does not oppose any sort of gun control, but that is not a fucking surprise. He's a bad person. He's bad for America. Yeah. No Republican is, which is just that's not true. That's no Republican politician is. Republicans support gun control. Like the 90% of Americans support some sort of background check or something like that.
I mean, like it's much higher, than
it's an insane thing.
Sure.
Like,
but to stick to DeSantis here, I mean, like the problem is that yes, he's been effective in Florida. I think the political climate's changing in Florida. He had a House and Senate that was very aligned to him to able to get a bunch of this stuff done. I don't think like he convinced a bunch of Floridians that a lot of these policies were important or good. I think they're just defending their vote at this point.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, he's going to lose Florida to Donald Trump, so he's not that popular in Florida.
That's true.
What I have to say about that.
That's why I can't wait for the primaries. I can't wait to see what happens there.
He's a popular governor in Florida, but he's not even going to win his home state.
No,
like Donald Trump is going to sweep that state.
When is that primary? Because he'll drop out right after that if he doesn't.
I cannot wait to not hear about Ron DeSantis anymore. Like because. I am hoping that this campaign is enough of a shame fest that he doesn't have a chance to run in 2028. Because I tell you right now, barring as I've said on multiple podcasts now, barring the death of Donald Trump or Joe Biden, they will be the nominees for the parties. So, I mean, like, I think Ron DeSantis wasted a lot of money and time doing this. This was not his time to run. I think he would have had a much better chance in 2028. I think everyone else on that stage either is there because they want to talk shit about Trump, like Christie, they want a job in the Trump administration, like Ramaswamy, or they want a Fox News morning show, like our former UN ambassador, Nikki Haley. So I think that it's funny that like 6 months ago we were worried about Ron DeSantis whenever like
the Almost Presidents did a whole goddamn series on him. We're so worried about it.
We didn't even mention his whole like likely alleged CIA torture time.
Oh yeah, I'll mention some of that in a second because we got a different thing to talk about him.
He's so lackluster, right? Like he was built up to be such a threat, and once again, instead, it's going to be fucking Cheeto dictator versus Dim Corpse.
Yeah.
Because nobody can take down Trump. I like they're not even the only person on the debate last night that was even willing to attack Trump was Chris Christie.
Yeah. Who
has a snowball's chance in hell of winning any state.
Yeah.
So it's such a waste of time. Like we like it's not a waste of time for us to cover this and make fun of Ron. Like that's funny. And I like making fun of Ron DeSantis. It's just like it's insane that our politics have come to the point now that there is no real primary for either party this year.
Yeah.
It's just not happening.
Yeah. Like we're going to cover a few more. We're going to cover Nikki Haley and Vivek just to maybe give Vivek. We already kind of did him.
Maybe Christie.
But now Christie's going to drop out, I would say, right at the beginning of the year. But Nikki and Vivek are probably in it for the long haul just so they can suck up to Trump. But
let's see. I bet you Christie outlasts Vivek.
Yeah. I will take that bet. I don't know.
I bet you Christie has one or two donors that hate Trump, right? Like I bet you there's a couple millionaires that are Republicans that personally despise Donald Trump.
I mean, shoot, Nikki Haley just got the Coke money.
Chris Christie to make ads and go to debates and speaking tours to talk shit about Donald Trump as a Republican. I think Nikki Haley has enough of multiple millionaires that like her that think she's the only real alternative. I think Vivek has just a bunch of like young Reddit Republicans that are funding his campaign right now. And when that money dries up, like what keeps him in the race? Like he's not a former politician. He has no prestige. Like it's not like people are working for him for anything but a paycheck.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I think the people that are going to wind up being in this in the long haul are going to be Christie and Haley.
Yeah.
Like those are the people.
Okay.
Like, and I think DeSantis would want to be, but
I think he's out once he loses
third campaign
Florida.
shakeup. Like he's fucked.
And and we're not doing this because we're doing this just so there's a video out there discussing how bad he is. That's the entire point of this series in the sense that we're doing. It's still part of America, the conversation. They're not sending their best. These people are bad for America and they're not even their best. Like you've convinced me.
If they wanted to actually win, like first off, you'd run people like Arnold Schwarzenegger for Senate in California as a Republican.
Yeah.
Like they could run a bunch of charming
oh yeah, there's
like
so many
empty
people.
suits
Peter Thiel,
that are fun people that even I'd be like, oh yeah, that person's fun to talk to. But they don't. They run fucking nerds and debate kids and fucking tech bros, and they all suck. None of them have any charm. Not to say the Democrats have a lot of charming people running. I mean, Gavin Newsom is the most charming, and that guy also sucks for a lot of reasons. But like, I just like, it amazes me. I guess it comes back to, once again, politics is Hollywood for nerds, like for ugly people. Like, because like you could run, like if I could get a personal trainer and lose about 100 pounds, I could out fucking fox any of these people in a debate. Like anyone with like 10% charm, like a charisma stat of 12 on their player, like it could fucking out charm these motherfuckers. Like they're so either boring or annoying or like,
especially
like,
Ron.
And Ron is the worst of them all.
He really is the most annoying one. Like
Vivek's the most annoying.
Oh no, Vivek's the most annoying. Ron is just, Ron's the weirdest, which brings me to this.
He's the weirdest. Agreed. He's the uncali Vanny motherfucker.
Which brings me
he's
to
a
this
lizard person.
Specific plug. We in February, Alana from I Don't Trust This Person about George Santos and I will be covering what we are calling the weird lives of Ron and Casey DeSantis. It won't be too long because they're not going to be around that long, and there is just a very few key points.
I see the cover art, like it's ripped on their picture in black and white, and then it's lizard eyes for both of them.
Like I'm reading my mind a little
writing
bit.
This for you. Yeah.
We'll discuss. But yeah, so that'll be out hopefully the beginning of February is what the aim is for that. Right before he drops out of the race, basically. But also just as a way of reminding people when he does maybe try and run again, and when he can't run again in Florida. Well, he's going to try and run for president again someday, and
he will try to run for
you need
president
these reminders. That's why we make this content. That's why we make these shows and discuss these things.
Putting fingers Ron, and Rhonda.
Yeah,
like he's always going to be known as a loser. I'm sorry, like
he really is, especially with the boot thing. Like it's not the pudding thing. That's gross. The meatball wrong thing, whatever. The tongue thing. What really for me did it, which is where like you are
the boots.
It's the boots.
The boots were his Waterloo.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
Like, it's when it was over. Like when the boots happened, I knew like there's no chance Ron DeSantis will even be second place.
I don't even people are even disputing it anymore because like I mean, listen, I have worn cowboy boots my whole life, and there are no toes at the front of those boots. Like I'm telling you, and multiple shoe experts have already said, you're curling up, and not in the way those fun curly boots like in Mexico they have. The kind of the little pointy dancing ones.
They curl up for the same reason. There's no toes in there. Like they're designed to do that though. Like they're designed.
Yes, those
as an
are designed.
aesthetic.
These are regular cowboy boots that he is like.
There's no
doing this wrong. There's no foot in there. Like
he's just walking on heels. Yeah, which I've done several times for fun and for production.
Sure,
but. Yeah, like
and like I'll never get over the jokes of like, watch this anti-trans guy get makeup on while he's like wearing high heels and shit, and I'm like, good Jesus Christ, you're so right. Like
I was at a banquet hall he was at like 2 months ago, Ron,
oh my God.
and like it amazed me that I'm taller than him because I don't think of myself as an exceptionally tall guy.
I'm
I don't
taller
think of myself
than you.
As short, right? I'm 5'9". I'm literally like average, like not short enough to be insecure about it, not tall enough to ever be considered tall.
Yeah,
but like I was like 3 inches taller than him, and I was like, yo, this guy is short. Like, how did he ever think he could be president?
It's like Tom Cruise, man. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I mean,
Tom Cruise has a personality. You can't be short and boring.
Yeah.
You can't be short and boring and win the presidency.
But there can be two things. Brought it back.
Hey, full circle.
Yeah, full circle. No,
it's
but
the hero's journey.
It specifically with his height, like it was the dumb. Like, I mean, did you not think you'd be caught? I'm 90% sure Chris Christie is listed as being like 5'11". Nikki Haley, who's also about 5'10", 5'11", who wears like 3 to 5 inch heels. He's like same height as them in the picture. I don't know if the picture was taken from a weird angle, but like he appears to be the same height, but he is not listed as that. Like, there's no way he is
He's wearing lifts.
I know he's wearing lifts, but that's again, that's what I think for sure killed him, because then he just got weirder after that, because people were like, oh, not only are you insecure, they're like starting to look at him like how I talk about how his face has too much alien skin on it for like the guy from Men in Black, like the use less tongue thing, or about when they told him to smile better.
That the mainstream media was like, oh no, like this guy isn't the alternative to Trump.
No, yeah, exactly.
Like that's when the mainstream media turned on him, right? I think that's when donors in the mainstream media were like, oh wait, this guy's becoming a meme.
Yep.
Like there's no way he can
And then
beat
all
Trump.
they've got is Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy, and they're both fucking like, they're not great. They're bad for America, and they're not their best. to put it simply.
I think that all four of those people on that stage is somewhat like hoping that Donald Trump gets convicted, and then like his appeal goes quick, and then he gets put in prison, and
But
then
they just
all of a sudden they like show up at the convention, I guess, and then like
didn't Colorado
as a
just
hero
rule that
say-
Trump can totally be on the ballot no matter what? Like their Supreme Court said,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
the Constitution
but it
doesn't say
Like,
that.
I think the idea is that if Donald Trump gets convicted of a felony, there will be enough of a groundswell in the party to like do a convention challenge, right? Like no matter how the primaries go.
Sure, but he'll still win.
Because like the primaries aren't like legally binding or anything. Like
No, they're
it's
private
who they pick
institutions.
at the convention.
Fun fact.
Yeah. And their conventions are private get-togethers. So it's like anything can happen at the convention, right? Like technically someone could from one of the states that didn't vote for Trump, if one of them win one, could be like, I call a floor vote. Like this is unacceptable. Like this is why, and give a speech about why Trump can't go because he has a felony conviction. And maybe they could win then. Like, but that's the only route that I think any of them see towards this happening. But to do that, they have to be the last one standing in the primaries, right? Because whoever is the last one standing is the one who can show up to the convention if Donald Trump dies or goes to prison and be like, look, it's sad that our leader got taken away, but I was second place and I told you that this would happen. I warned everyone that he wouldn't have to get away. And then they can take up the mantle.
I just don't see that happening. Like I don't. I really like it's a fun scenario, but it's just not ever going to happen. Like, and I know you know
Party
that.
will make Donald Trump their nominee, even if he's in prison.
Yeah, 100%. Like I have no faith in that 30% of that swath of America, like that it just will. And that's really all it is. That's the craziest part. It's just 30% of America that like have the GOP by the balls and won't let go.
Well, and their donor class and their media class tried to make a candidate that was like a carbon copy of him, but acceptable.
Yeah.
And Ron DeSantis like wasn't rude.
It didn't work.
And it didn't work.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. So like let's admit it, it's a cult. Like the GOP is a cult.
Yeah.
Daddy Trump is the cult leader. And until he's dead or in behind bars, like they're going to keep voting for him. Like that's just how simple it is.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, that's all we have on that, because Ron didn't work. He's bad for America, and thank God we're not going to have to deal with him any longer. The next person in this, I think we're going to do Lauren Boebert, just because Andrew really wants to change her really bad. But she's also going to lose, which is why we're doing her this early. Because Beetlejuice, pick a thing.
I just like women in glasses. I don't have a thing for Lauren Boebert. It's just
there
women
are
in glasses.
So many
that are
women in
loud.
glasses.
They have to be loud too. They like
Kirsten Sinema.
I love women that will yell at me and tell me I'm wrong about things in glasses. That's
there you go. That's and that's to each kink their own. Just
like
she's such a bad person.
That will yell at me in my face and like make me feel tiny. That's what I want in life.
And maybe you can change her. I believe in you, Andrew. So
I don't. There's no way I can change that dumb fashion.
I know. Next week or next one in the series, we're going to change Lauren Boebert. I promise, Andrew.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. So see you next time, everybody, on Not Their Best, Bad for America, whatever the fuck this is called.
Not their best.
Not their best. Oh, it's going in. It's going right here.
They're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us.
America the Conversation is a production of Shway Media and America the Podcast. The show was created and is hosted by Andrew Turner and Tim Phillippe. The show is mixed and edited by Tim Phillippe at Shway Media Studios in Austin, Texas. The show's theme song is by Timmy Two-Step. For more information, please visit americatheconversation.com and shwaymedia.com. Thanks for listening.
This has been a production of Shway Media, all rights reserved. For more information, please visit shwaymedia.com.